An enormous amount of waste and garbage enters the oceans every day. People used to assume that the oceans were so vast that all the garbage would just disappear harmlessly into the depths. The awful truth is now becoming all too obvious. Whilst the vast majority of marine pollution comes from activities ashore, we must lose the notion that garbage from ships is just a drop in the ocean. The purpose of MARPOL Annex 5 is to prevent harmful types of garbage from being discharged into the sea from ships. In this module, we're going to take a look at those regulations, how garbage is defined, what the rules are for its disposal, and its effects both on our oceans and on our lives. Let's start by saying exactly what we mean by the term garbage. Garbage is defined by Annex 5 of MARPOL as all kinds of food, domestic and operational waste excluding fresh fish generated during the normal operation of the ship, whether disposed of continuously or at intervals. Plastics, cooking oil, fishing gear, animal carcasses and cargo residues are among those substances specifically defined as garbage by Annex 5. Cargo residues and slurries, such as those produced by hold washing, are also classed as garbage, except when they are substances listed under the other annexes to MARPOL. Deck wash water is also considered as garbage. Operational wastes means all solid wastes, including slurries, not covered by the other annexes of MARPOL that are collected on board during normal maintenance or operations of a ship, or used for cargo storage and handling. Operational wastes also includes cleaning agents and additives contained in cargo hold and external wash water. Operational wastes does not include grey water, bilge water, or other similar discharges. All but the very smallest of ships must carry a garbage management plan and keep a garbage record book. The garbage record book may have two parts. Part 1 of the record of garbage discharges is used on all ships. Part 2 is only required for ships that carry solid bulk cargoes. In Part 1 of the garbage record book, garbage is grouped into these categories. A. Plastics. B. Food wastes. C. Domestic wastes. D. Cooking oil. E. Incinerator ashes. F. Operational wastes. G. Animal carcasses. H. Fishing gear. I. Electronic waste, e-waste. In Part 2 of the Garbage Record Book, ships that carry solid bulk cargoes are required to state whether cargo residues are harmful to the marine environment, HME, or not. So the categories here are J. Cargo residues non-HME, and K. Cargo residues HME. A special area is a sea area where, for recognized technical reasons in relation to its oceanographic and ecological condition, we need extra measures to prevent pollution of the sea by garbage. So the rules for garbage disposal are stricter when the ship is in a MARPOL special area. It's worth noting that the special areas for garbage are not the same as the special areas in other annexes of MARPOL, and also that there may be even tighter local restrictions on garbage disposal in some parts of the world. The special areas for garbage under MARPOL Annex 5 are the Mediterranean Sea area, the Baltic Sea area, the Black Sea area, the Red Sea area, the Gulfs area, the North Sea area, the Antarctic area, and the wider Caribbean region. You might be wondering why the Arctic isn't also a special area for garbage under MARPOL Annex 5. As you might expect, these wilderness areas are afforded special protection. Both the Arctic and the Antarctic have additional restrictions on the types of garbage that can be discharged and when they can be discharged, but these are given in the IMO's Polar Code. There are very few types of garbage that can be discharged into the sea, so if in doubt, don't throw it out. Really, the only types of garbage that can ever be discharged into the sea are food wastes and cargo residues, when we know that the cargo residues will not harm the environment. It is a MARPOL requirement that ships display placards showing a summary of the restrictions on disposing of garbage and the possible penalties that can apply. Outside a special area, we can discharge food wastes, provided they have been comminuted, chopped up, or ground so that they could pass through a 25mm mesh screen, but only if we are more than 3 nautical miles from land and en route. If food wastes are not comminuted or ground, we need to be more than 12 nautical miles from land and en route. Cargo residues and cleaning agents can be discharged more than 12 nautical miles from land, provided we are en route, and that they are not harmful to the environment, HME. Discharge into the sea of all other garbage including plastics, synthetic ropes, fishing gear, plastic garbage bags, incinerator ashes, clinkers, cooking oil, floating dunnage, lining and packing materials, paper, rags, glass, metal, bottles, crockery and similar refuse is always prohibited. MARPOL is quite clear that if we mix garbage, then it all becomes the worst type of garbage in the mix. So a plastic bag full of food wastes is categorized as being all plastic. So we should always take care to keep garbage separate, and there should be separate storage facilities for the different types of garbage that we might produce on board. In Arctic waters, in addition to being 12 miles from land, we must also be at least 12 miles from the nearest fast ice or ice shelf before discharging food wastes, which must always be comminuted or ground, and we cannot discharge these into ice. There are tighter restrictions on disposing of cargo residues, and no discharge of animal carcasses is allowed. In the Antarctic, we must also be more than 12 miles from the nearest fast ice, or ice concentrations, before discharging any garbage that would be permitted under MARPOL Annex 5. MARPOL Annex 5 states that, with a few exceptions, no form of garbage can be discharged anywhere at sea. MARPOL regulations require us to plan a garbage management strategy thoroughly. All but the very smallest of ships must carry a garbage management plan and keep a garbage record book. The garbage record book may have 2 parts. Part 1 is used on all ships. Part 2 is only required for ships that carry solid bulk cargoes. Some sea areas require higher degrees of protection and can be designated as special areas under MARPOL.